Bonjour et bienvenue dans l'officiel. Cette semaine, ni peinture ni sculpture, mais de la musique et de la photographie. Celle des années 60 avec l'artiste Bob Dylan qui est présentée à la Cité de la Musique jusqu'au 15 juillet. L'exposition Bob Dylan, l'explosion rock présente la transformation du chanteur folk en véritable rockstar. Pour nous, rencontre avec le photographe Daniel Kramer, témoin privilégié de cette période. C'est parti! You've been privileged to witness the evolution of Bob Dylan in the 60s. Explain us about this experience.
I didn't know much about this music, and I saw him on TV, and he was singing a song called The Lonesome Death of Hattie Carroll, which is a very powerful song about social injustice. And here was this young man, 23 years old, and alone, his guitar, and he was singing these very powerful lyrics. And then I realized he wrote them, and he was very brave to sing about them, about this terrible thing that happened to this woman. I wanted to photograph him for my work, and I called his office, his manager's office, and so it took me 6 months to call all the time. And finally, I got to do 1 hour portrait in Woodstock in August of 1964. And that's the first picture that's on the beginning of the wall of pictures. Eventually, it worked out that we made a lot of pictures that day, and then he invited me to go to a concert and to photograph at the concert, and we did, and we drove there in his car, and then he invited me to photograph at recording sessions, and it was very, very exciting because it was electric, and it was bringing it all back home, and this was a new music that no one heard before, really, so it was very, very exciting. And then he asked me to make the album cover for Bring It All Back Home, and then the album cover for Highway 61 Revisited. Eventually, as he changed and grew and became more involved with electric music and a band, he did a big concert at Forest Hills in New York City, and that concert was the beginning of his new way to produce his music. So I felt that then I had a complete circle, starting with the young folk singer alone with one instrument and going all the way to the end with a new performer emerging from all of this. And all this happened in 1 year. 1 year and a day. It's like a fairy tale.
When you got nothing, you got nothing to lose. You're invisible now. You got no secrets to conceal. How does it feel? How does it feel to be on your own?
Good pictures are made if you have a good photographer and a good subject. And Bob Dylan is a very good subject because he's very smart about the camera. He understands it. He knows he has good ideas, good visual ideas. I mean, after all, he's painting now, and his paintings are in major museums. So this made it very workable. That he understood the process, and he was able to help me, and I was able to help him, and so this makes the best relationship.
At the time, did you realize you were everlasting one of the greatest periods of the Americans' music history?
No one knew that. You don't know the history when you're living it. You have ideas, you feel it's important, but no one knows the future, and you don't know where it's going to go exactly. So a photographer is an historian with a camera. and you're constantly making notes for history. And sometimes you are fortunate and you are in the middle of something very important, but it's very hard to know during the process, because it's like you ask a centipede, say, how do you walk? You don't, if you ask the question and they don't know how they're doing it, you have to just make your pictures. And if you have a good intuition, and the photographer always has to work ahead, because if I see something and I wait and then it happens and then I push the button, I missed it. There's a picture of Joan Baez lifting Dylan off the ground. If you wait for her to lift him, you miss it.
And last question, if someone is interested by your pictures, where can we find it?
In London there is a gallery called Snap Gallery, S-N-A-P, Snap Gallery, and they handle my pictures.
Nous arrivons au terme de cette balade folk et rock. Nous vous souhaitons une belle semaine. Au revoir.